welcome to the very first episode of Stories Without Labels, the podcast. I'm so glad you're here. This podcast is a place where stories, voices, and experiences come together to celebrate neurodiversity, emotional wellness, and compassionate parenting. Before we dive into all the rich conversations ahead, I want to take a moment for this first episode to share with you what this podcast is all about and why it matters so deeply to me. So let's start with a little story. Mine. I'm a psychiatric nurse, I'm a mom, I'm a storyteller, and most importantly, I'm someone who's walked the journey of understanding and supporting a neurodivergent child, my son. When my son was diagnosed with autism, everything in the world shifted for me. Not because I saw him differently, he was still the same bright, curious, funny little boy that I loved with all my heart. But suddenly, I was handed labels, checklists, clinical terms, and a lot of fear. There were supports, what I really craved most of all was real connection. And that's exactly why I created Stories Without Labels. This isn't just a podcast. I want this to be a movement, a space where we shift from what a child lacks to what they bring, where we challenge outdated thinking and uplift families navigating neurodiversity with hope and pride, not shame and lots of struggles. Um, Here's what you can expect from this show. We'll have conversations about neurodivergence, emotional development, and parenting, most of all, from a compassionate lens. We'll have practical tools that you could use at home, in classrooms, or in any care settings. Um, we'll have heart-centered storytelling because stories do stick, they connect us, and they do ultimately change us. Some episodes will just be me sharing reflections and insights from my work and motherhood. Others, I will include guests, parents, educators, therapists, perhaps even young people themselves. This space isn't about perfection, it's about permission. Permission to feel what you feel, permission to slow down, permission to raise your child in a way that honors who they are, not who society expects them to be. So, whether you're a parent, a caregiver, a professional, or just someone curious about neurodiversity, you belong here. We're going to laugh, we're going to cry, reflect, and grow together. Because the more we listen to each other's story, the more we realize there's no such thing as one size fits all child. There are just beautiful, complex, incredible humans, each trying to find their own way. So thank you. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for being part of this journey. And thank you for believing in a world where every child can be celebrated without labels and without limits. If this podcast resonates with you, I'd love for you to follow along, leave a review, share it with someone who needs to hear this. And you can always find me on social media at Stories Without Labels or on my website, www.storieswithoutlabels.com. Until next time, be kind to yourself. And remember, there is no label big enough to hold your child's brilliance. You've been listening to Stories Without Labels, the podcast. See you soon.